I'm super excited today because of this lady, culinary coach, private chef, Chef Janon here with us, and she is going to give you some tips on how you can plan your layout in your kitchen if you have the choice to, or if what you can do to maybe improve a little bit of the flow. You are thinking of building a house and you just have all the options for you to plan your kitchen.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
What would you do?
That's exactly what I want.
Well, let's start. What would you do?
Well, I love the fact that I do have a professional culinary career because I'm looking at it very specifically as a chef instead of just how pretty it looks. Pretty is important, just like our food.
It's got to be functional.
It's got to be right, but how much more will you enjoy cooking if everything is it works for you? So if you get the opportunity to start in the studs, that's where you're going to start.
That's the way to do it.
So I can tell you some of my personal preferences, of course, coming from a professional aspect. For one, not a huge fan of the sink in the island.
Really?
It bothers me. So I was just recently in a home that had a small hand washing sink in the corner.
Over there.
Right? Off the side. Because people just disregard the amount of counter space. Like, oh yeah, it's nice we have it. But how functional is that space over there? Right? The little corner sides. Or if someone is here actively cooking, that's a very active environment. So this is not a very good prep space, nor is this.
No,
right?
it's not.
So this would be your primary prep space. And by using it for the sink, not as easy. Now,
never thought of that.
You know,
Okay, so but where do you put it?
With the sink, well, if we're looking in this space, maybe just not front and center. Right? Okay. It doesn't have to take out the center middle because wouldn't this be a fabulous entertaining space?
It is.
Right? You could put chairs, you could have a party, you could hire me and bring me in to teach a class.
Oh my gosh.
In your house.
There you go.
So I don't think it needs to be a double sink. We mentioned that a little bit earlier while we were chit-chatting. I'm not a huge fan of the double sink. Double sink goes back to the days of harsh soaps that really stuck and adhesed to all of our dishware, especially glassware, right?
All right.
We didn't have all the plastics. Now we have all the plastics. But so you would need the separate compartmental sink. In a professional kitchen, we are required by health code to have 3 compartment sinks. So you have one to wash, one to rinse, one to sanitize. That's not
a little
practical.
It's a little overkill.
In your house, you're not dealing with the same levels of difficult ingredients or potentially harmful ingredients. So I love a nice farm sink, something super deep, something with a nice pot filling lid.
Okay.
Oh yeah, see, I like this too. This makes me happy.
Well, you can clean so much better with this. Absolutely. And so no separation. Okay, materials. Are you a stainless steel fan? Are you, what is that? There's some granite coating or something?
There is. I mean, the beauty of copper, of the deep copper sinks are just outstanding. And
it's a little pricey, right?
But it does. It hits a little price tag. Stainless steel is effective and you can clean it. But I hate the smudges and it gets a little on my nerves.
Stained. Yeah,
now,
stained.
did you know that stainless steel actually gets the smell of garlic off your hands?
I think I saw it on TikTok the other day.
Is it on TikTok? Everyone's on TikTok nowadays. But you do. So you wash your hands with soap and then you rub it on stainless steel. And then it'll actually remove the garlic smell. So if you're you could just rub it onto here if necessary. Another, I guess, point for stainless steel.
So my question really is there a rule of thumb? I think there's the working triangle. Can you explain about that?
So just like basketball players, we pivot, right? It's all about synchronicity of motion, right? So whenever I'm going to the pantry, the fridge, wherever, I'm looking to maximize every step, right? Okay. Chef's number one thing, timing, right? While we're pivoting, right? As you're setting up your kitchen, if you know where your primary workspace, and it's not always the stovetop, right? Your primary workspace is gonna be, start there. So in this situation, right, naturally, you and I are both gravitated to here because we have these beautiful windows, we have the light coming in.
People probably on the other side.
Right? And something else totally disregarded is the appropriate lighting in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? age is not always nice to us. And it likes to affect our eyeballs.
Yeah.
And when the light gets dimmer and you're trying to cut with sharp utensils,
you might lose one of these.
Try not to. But something like these lower pendulum lights, great for ambiance, for dining, but horrible for cooking.
For working.
Right? And these really high ceilings, again, aesthetically beautiful, but it's
So having, especially under cabinet lighting.
That's what I was gonna say. I love the under cabinet lights. It gives a really focused look, and if you can keep this minimalist, visual, it's actually a nice highlight. It's like highlighting your art.
Well, the materials here are just super nice. We have, quartz countertops, and So here's what I'm hearing. Bigger kitchen is not always a better kitchen. I would say, let's say you do plan to have this here, or you don't have a choice because you are going into a builder's model home, and they say, well, this is what it's gonna be. So you wanna have this close to here within one step, close to here within one step.
Literally like a basketball player, just pivoting. Everything should be, like right now, where's our trash? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
right?
Because that's how we do when we're selling this house as well.
Smart.
And we packed everything away to make it look pretty. But usually trash is under the cabinets. I mean, that's where we want
Well,
it,
again,
right?
it's the whole triangle. It's the whole pivot point. Always, people disregard where they're going to put their trash. It's like the very last thing.
It is.
And so they're stuck with a canister or something at the end of their cabinet or hidden in their pantry, which you don't want to do that. You're going to attract bugs and animals and stuff. You don't want that.
Not in the pantry.
Not in the pantry. But if our standard space was right here, if this is our main prep space, I would put a pull-out drawer right here.
Right here.
Because that becomes your garbage bowl.
Yes.
Imagine every time you had to throw something away. You could put compost, you could put a recycling, you could do everything, and you just swipe it right into here. You see how much of a hindrance something like this would be? So I understand this for a couple of different levels. And yes, it was built for more of a modern convenience because yes, it could be a wet bar, right? You have your cabinets up here for your drinks and your glasses and things like that. And you could create a coffee station.
Coffee station.
Coffee station would be great for that.
Right now.
Well, if you're an addict like I am, I'm a pot a day kind of gal.
You want to have it right here.
I want the big one and I want it right here. But other than that, there's not a lot of practicality here. And what this becomes is that if you're not a coffee drinker,
it's a drop.
It's a catch-all.
A drop zone. Yeah.
How annoying are those?
Do you remember in like the 90s homes where they had like the desk space? You'd have like this
little rollout and a little chair.
No cabinets here, and it would be a little light upper cabinet, and then you could sit here and work on your computer.
Well, I don't know if we all have allowed
we have everything with us now in our, with our phone, but yes.
We're not writing out checks or paying bills or clipping coupons. It's all digital now.
Yes, so I never considered that, but that's a good point. I think that the problem for most people is it just offers another counter space, not realizing what you might use that counter space for.
Right.
Maybe just a drop zone, or you don't use it at all.
Now, one thing I've found here at Elevation, it's a total elevation hack, is there are pieces of equipment that don't necessarily need to be hidden away.
Okay.
Instant Pots. Ooh. If you're an Instant Pot fan, I wasn't a convert till I moved up here.
Really?
The pressure cooking helps counteract some of the issues that we have because of the higher elevation. So things, the high heat, cooking for long periods of time, braising, boiling water for noodles. I love all of it.
I love it. Yeah.
So the Instant Pot has, to me, sort of become a secondary stovetop. I too have gas, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us have gas, or if you have induction or whatever it is, you don't want to mess up your whole stovetop.
Kitchen if you just cook one
And
thing.
if you're doing a one-pot meal, how easy, right? So a place like this, it's not a lost cause, but really go into it functionally, thinking about
how you use the kitchen.
And use it as an equipment space to avoid it becoming a catch-all.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
But if you have a choice as a builder, don't. There are
Yeah.
other places. So
Yeah.
you can put things other places.
Right? Exactly.
What I love, I'm a Lazy Susan girl.
What'd you call me?
I love the pull-out cabinets where it has the drawers, and I mean, you can swivel. It's just such an efficient
I
space.
saw one the other day that had, so I mean, I can't, so this is another thing.
Tiny.
I can't, well, you can't reach up there
probably
either.
can't.
But I saw one where they opened this and they could actually pull out
Brilliant.
everything that was up there. So I mean, this is where the cabinets were, and they just pulled it out and they could get like all the cereals. And I thought, oh, so amazing, because I'm challenged, obviously, right? So that was a great idea.
I would love that for something like a spice rack. My spice rack has gotten away from me. I mean, obviously I cook all the time, but they make such amazing little module areas, especially as, you know, we were talking about this gorgeous fridge. Gorgeous fridge, very fancy. But all the sizes and the shapes and the different ones, all right? They're not uniform anymore.
No, they're
It's
not.
not just one, you know, Frigidaire.
Yeah.
So
counter depth, not counter depth. Yeah.
tell me more. Like literally, it's like which comes first, the chicken or the egg, the space or the fridge. Now, if you don't want to be limited to what type of technology you want, then clearly, I mean, it's going to have to functionally fit. But if you did get a bigger one, right, there are spaces for such things. And I did notice some of the stoves were smaller, right? Are smaller framed this way, because we got into this crazy thing where there's like 6 and 8 burners for a while. I think this one's only 4.
It's 5.
Is it? Oh, it's 5. Yeah, it's got a flat top in the middle. It's very fancy here. But but yeah, no, we had this huge trend, right? 90s, early aughts. Everybody was wanting a chef.
The bigger the better.
And everybody wanted 6 and 8 and 12 burners and all of these things in the giant hood vents. Do we practically use those? So if you don't, and you're building a new house, there are spaces, like, or if you're refurbing a house, right, and you've had the space for one of those giant ovens, right, there are now smaller internal cabinets that you can put in, and you can pull them out as your spice racks. Or we were talking about places to put your broom or your sheet pans.
Where the toe, what is it?
The toe kick.
The toe kick is, yeah. Gosh, I can't think of that word right now.
I got a chance to actually live and work and help with this sort of idea behind cooking in a van. Very different than this kitchen.
That'd be very efficient.
Well, it was all about the efficiencies, and one of the things I absolutely loved is that little toe kick area, they made it hydraulic.
Oh, okay.
So as you literally kicked it and then it popped out, and you're able to put all of your sheet pans. Because believe it or not, that little drawer underneath the oven, it's not.
Sometimes it's this big, sometimes it's this big.
Yeah, well, in mine it's a broiler, but in most kitchens, it's a bread warmer, or it's a plate warmer, or things like that.
Can function as that, yeah.
It's an actual functioning piece of equipment that we use universally to put our sheet pans and cupcake tins in.
Yep.
But there are more efficient places for those.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So if you have more questions about kitchens, you ask me. If you're interested in cooking, having a culinary coach or a private chef,
Yes, I do that too.
talk to Chef Janon. We'll drop all of her information below. And give us a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any of this interaction. And see you soon.